To call to order the Joliet City Council meeting for today, Tuesday, August 3rd. Presiding Honorable Mayor Bob Odenkirk. For today's invocation, we are joined by Pastor Solomon Jothy of Crystal Lawns Church of the Nazarene at 2424 Caton Farm Road.
Let's pray. Dear loving and almighty God, we want to thank you for the privilege of being able to gather in service to you and to the community of Joliet today. We thank you for your many blessings, for life, for health, protection, and sustenance through this pandemic, for the ability to be involved in useful work, and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. More than anything, God, we want to thank you for your unconditional love, grace, and mercy. As we have gathered here to promote peace, order, and justice, we ask that you bless our mayor and the various levels of city officials. We pray particularly for the council that has gathered here today. We pray that you grant them wisdom to govern, a sense of welfare and understanding of true needs of people, a keen thirst for justice and rightness, confidence in what is right and fitting, the ability to be able to work in harmony, peace in their personal lives, joy in fulfilling the task to which you have called them to. We also pray, Lord, for the residents of this wonderful city. We pray for unity in diversity, brotherly harmony, love, and kindness. May all that we say and do, Lord, bring glory and honor to your name. As we conclude this prayer, we end with the words of David, the psalmist, who wrote, "May the favor of our Lord our God rest on us. Establish the works of our hands for us." Yes, establish the works of our hands. We pray these things in your holy name. Amen. Amen. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America,
and for
to
the
the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Odenkirk.
Here.
Councilman Clement.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin is absent this evening. She did notify us. Councilman Guerrero.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilman Morris.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin is absent this evening. Councilwoman Coleman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
First on the agenda this evening is a presentation on the Alternative Water Source Program by Allison Swisher, Director of Public Utilities.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This presentation was presented at the Public Service Committee at the end of July. Councilman Hug thought it'd be a good idea for everyone on the council to hear the update on the water program, as well as everyone watching at home. So a lot of the previous updates I've given have been focused on funding, public outreach, and the overall schedule. But I did want to highlight tonight just an update on the amount of engineering work that has been done over the past 6 months. And so those are some of the items I'm going to touch on is just the design flows, how the system's going to be configured, the various capital improvement projects that make up the program, and then the preliminary design schedule. Okay, so related to the design flows are the basis for the overall design of the system. So it's a very important component that we communicate that to the engineering team. How big of a system are we designing? So it's important on this slide to note that we're, again, planning for a regional system. We've made the assumption it would be about 60 million gallons per day for that regional system. And we're going to be basing that original design, the initial design, on the 2050 flow. So again, all of our communities are growing, and so we're projecting forward to what those water demand needs will be in 2050. But it's important to also consider the ultimate build-out needs of the system, because for certain components, such as the transmission main, that needs to be sized for that ultimate capacity, because you don't want to have to repeat that construction. You want to put that pipe, which is going to be very costly, in the ground and have it be able to serve future needs, up to 100 years from now. And so right now, that build-out capacity is estimated to be 104 MGD. And again, these numbers will be finalized and modified once we know which regional partners are participating. But right now, these are the assumptions that we're working with. So just in summary, again, we're designing a 60 million gallon per day regional system, and there's going to be the initial design based on the 2050 needs, but that we're considering that build out for a number of the system components. Another important design consideration is the configuration of the regional system. Again, who owns what, who's going to operate what, and then who, ultimately pays for what. And so this schematic here just provides that overview. As mentioned at the last update, we have a group of mayors and managers from all the potential regional partners that's been meeting on a monthly basis. And so this is a concept that was reviewed with that group, and there's consensus that this is the configuration that will be followed for this regional system. And it's very similar to how other regional water systems are structured. So all of the items in green would be owned by the commission, and all of the costs associated with those items in green would then be shared amongst all the members. And the basis for the cost is the capacity that each community will have rights to, and that will be declared by each community, and ultimately that's what the system will be designed for. The items in orange then are what each community then will be responsible for. So within each system, each community is going to have to do upgrades within their own system to add storage and improve their own distribution system to allow for that water to be conveyed from the delivery point that each community will establish then to all of their customers. So the overall program is made up of numerous capital improvement projects, and so we've broken that down into 8 major projects. I'm just going to touch briefly on these this evening. So the first one is the connection to the Chicago facilities. And again, this is taking place at the site of the existing Southwest pumping station that's owned by Chicago. That's at about 84th and Kedvale. And there's a number of facilities that will be constructed at that site and at the adjacent Durkin Park. The second capital improvement plan is the finished water transmission main. This is the large diameter transmission main that will convey the water from Chicago out to this region. And again, this route right here, it's shown, it's just very conceptual at this point as being modified and will be adjusted based on which communities participate in the regional solution. But again, as I mentioned before, there's going to be one transmission main. It's going to be designed to serve the full range of flows that are anticipated between 2050 and build out. And so currently it's anticipated to be a 66-inch diameter. We're evaluating different pipe materials, and that'll be part of the design as we move forward. The third capital improvement project is an intermediate pump station. So as the water is pumped from Chicago, there'll be a point where it needs to be repumped in order to get it out to this region. And so we're working on the design of what that pumping station would look like and where it would be located. The fourth project are the receiving facilities. So after the water leaves the intermediate pump station, it comes into the regional system. And at that point then, there'll be the need for water storage as well as additional pumping to, again, convey the water to all of the delivery points identified by the participants in the Water Commission. We're planning for system-wide Scada and communications. So again, it's very important that we utilize technology available so that we are able to operate the system remotely. So we are planning to have, real-time control of the new system from a central operation point that would be located out in this region. Again, the next project would be the regional transmission main network. This is the piping then that after it comes into the receiving station, there'll be pipes that convey the water out to each community that's a part of the commission. And again, this will be large diameter water mains, and we're working through various routes for that pipe as are shown on the screen. And so again, this is preliminary at this point, but as you can see, there's multiple options and multiple routes being evaluated to get the water conveyed to all the potential members. And these are just the delivery points, and this slide just shows the communities, the 11 other communities that we have been having ongoing discussions with related to the Water Commission. So again, with the information about the water needs at each of these points, we use that then to design the transmission main to get the water out to these points. Again, and these water delivery points were established by each Water Commission member, and they would be, at these points, there would be a meter that would be owned and operated by the Water Commission, and so this would be the point of separation of the ownership of the regional system versus the system that each community would own and operate. The 7th capital improvement project is the crossing of the Cal-Sag Channel. We're identifying this as a specific project just because of the specialty construction that'll be needed to do the tunnel and boring beneath the Cal-Sag Channel. And then the last project is just all the improvements within the Joliet distribution system itself. As I mentioned, we'll be adding storage, we'll be adding pumping, and then also we'll be replacing water mains within the distribution system in conjunction with our water main replacement program, which will be replacing 20 miles per year of the smaller diameter distribution water main system. And so just to conclude, we have updated our preliminary design schedule. And again, this is the work that currently our design team is under contract to perform. And you can see that there's, a different schedule for each of these capital improvement projects, but I'm happy to say that we are, very much on schedule and are, moving ahead as planned in order to provide the new water source by 2030. So that concludes the presentation. I can answer any questions if there are any.
Any questions? No, thanks, Allison. I do
you.
want to say, we had Congressman Foster and Congresswoman Underwood here about a month ago, looking firsthand at some of the infrastructure work we're doing. So thank you to them for coming out, and hopefully, we'll be in touch with them moving forward.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda are proclamations for the Neighborhood Hero Award winners.
Thank you. My name's Jane Bernhardt. I'm one of the city planners here on staff at the City of Joliet. I'm also the president of Project Acclaim. Project Acclaim was founded in 1985 by the Reverend James E. Allen. Its mission is to promote a positive image of the greater Joliet area and to recognize those who make a difference in our community. So since 2015, the Project Acclaim, along with the City of Joliet, have sponsored what we call the Neighborhood Hero Award program. And this program specifically recognizes people who take and show pride in their property through their attention to landscaping and other exterior improvements. So we have 24 winners in total this year. So we had a competitive nomination round this year. We have 24 winners. We're gonna recognize half of them tonight. The majority of those half are here. And then next council meeting, we'll recognize the other half. And I have Councilwoman Coleman with me here tonight. She's always been a supporter of this program, and she'll read the first proclamation, and then we'll call up each family after that.
Reading the whole thing.
So we're not reading the whole thing every time, so.
Okay, thank you, Jane. Congratulations to the first 12 winners. And here's the proclamation from Mayor Bob Odekirk. Whereas Project Acclaim has been honoring those who exhibit civic pride since 1985. Project Acclaim, in partnership with the City of Joliet, sponsors the Neighborhood Hero Award program to recognize those who take pride in their property. Neighborhood Hero Award honorees have outstanding yards that include maintained lawns with flowers, shrubs, and decorative trees. Parks and recreation programs increase a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction. Whereas Neighborhood Hero Award honorees have labored intensively to create visual beauty at their property. By showing great pride in their property, these residents demonstrate great pride in their neighborhood and our city. Now therefore, I, Robert Odekirk, Mayor of the City of Joliet, Illinois, on behalf of the Joliet City Council, do hereby recognize the efforts and outcomes of the 2021 Neighborhood Heroes and hope others will follow their example. So our first award winner tonight will be Annie Joyce Chandler, 522 Hardwood Street. Okay.
Ms. Chandler has lived here since 2000. Thank you for making a difference in your neighborhood.
I just want to thank the person that nominated me, my cousin Ruby Westmoreland, and this is not hard work, it's just rewarding work. I love working in my yard. Thank you.
Next is,
Pauline Fuchs.
well, actually, there's the Morales family at 612 Brook Ridge Drive could not be here tonight, but
Oh.
this is their yard in the Brook Ridge subdivision. They're not coming to the next meeting either. So
Oh, okay.
actually, that's Pauline, sorry. I know, every year I do this to you.
Yes, you do.
I know,
So it makes it fun.
I know.
All right, let's see. Pauline Fuchs, did I say that correctly? 117 Dwight Street? How are you? Congratulations.
Pauline has owned this property for 30 years. The Reedwood subdivision, neighborhood, I should say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank everybody. Thank the neighbor who put my name in. I was unaware of this and it was a lot of fun.
It's a lot of work, too.
Yeah, keep going. Everyone else is here.
All right, now we have the Chan family from 359 North Rayner Avenue.
The Chan family has lived here since 1982, and all the properties next to them have been emulating their example of neighborhood setting. So, and thanks, Bob, for backing up
It was my wife.
for their nomination. Thank you.
Okay, the Contos family, 1200 Glenwood Avenue.
This family has lived here since 1988. They have not necessarily a corner property, but almost a corner property with the way the alley just ends there. So very nice property with a nice stone wall.
And I didn't know it was on, so I said, drove by that morning, we looked at the house, and said, you should put that house on. She said, she told me, like, it already is. So, congratulations.
Thank you very much. She's the one who does it all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the Riley family, 1606 Jones Street.
This family has lived here as well 30 years, and they have decorated their property with wood carvings that they have brought in from Kentucky.
It's all him.
My daughter nominated us, which I had no idea this was even possible, but I love it. And thanks to the mayor,
Thank
Jane.
you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate all you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Orlowski family, 700 Reserve Lane.
This family has been here for 4 years, and it's again a prominent corner lot, and they have a meticulous yard. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank our council members. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Favia family at 1504 Baltz Drive.
So this Jane, her name's Jane as well. She has lived here for 15 years, and she actually had 2 people in her subdivision nominate her. It wasn't just one. I found out.
Oh, great.
Yeah. She's
Okay.
always working in her yard according to her neighbors.
I love it. It's very peaceful and relaxing to me. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Leanne, for.
You hire out?
I do. Thank you.
The Yusko family, 2803 Grand Prairie Drive.
This family has been here for 28 years. Their neighbor said it's by far the nicest house in the subdivision. Nicest yard and house.
Thank you, Mayor, Councilman. We'd like to thank Henry Cafferty also for the nomination. So, he is the neighbor that, okay, so.
Thank you.
have Barbara Ashton, 3009 and 3011 Thomas Hickey Drive.
So Ms. Ashton has lived here for 30 years, and is meticulous maintenance of the duplex lot that she owns.
I'd like to thank Quality Kelly for, putting my name in. It was unexpected because this is a hobby, so, and I enjoy working in the yard and flowers and stuff. So thank you, and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Okay, and last but not least for this evening is Mary Lou Gates and Robert Maholick, 1001 Oakland Avenue.
They have been at this property for 52 years, and for 50 years, she has owned a crystal repair business.
Now, I want to know, where's Lucy tonight?
Me.
Or Mia?
I wanted to bring her. And
David
he
Nelson
said,
told me your name was Lucy.
we've got a little Maltese we take everywhere with us, and I think, Joe, you saw her the day you came.
She's at last council meeting, very
She
well
was-
behaved, better than some people.
She's a good girl.
Oh, she's in the picture. There she is. Darling.
Well, thank you, everyone. It's been exciting. I do my yard work. I've been there 50-some years, and it's just what I do. I just love it. And I didn't think anybody could see it because it's fenced in, but all of a sudden, somebody nominated me, and I don't know who did it.
It was anonymous.
Okay. Well, that was great. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks to all the winners, and we'll see the other half in 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
I just have one quick, in closing, so our next round for nominations is May of 2022. I do have two members of Project Acclaim here, Quinn Adamowski and Jan Nahorsky are here, so they also serve on our judging panel and
Sitting
put
in
forth
the back.
nominations. Yes, so they're
Stand
here
up,
as well.
be recognized.
So, again, these people all did their own work, so that's part of the requirements for getting selected. And they really add to our city, and they make, and to our neighborhoods. So thank you again to everybody here tonight. That's it.
Thank you. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you.
Next is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written with the following change? Remove Council Memo 368-21 from the agenda, which is the purchase of a Ford Explorer for the Police Department Traffic Unit.
So moved. Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone present that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Seeing none. We'll move on to appointments. First one, Mayor Odekirk tonight is recommending Herb Landy be appointed to the Board of Fire and Police Commission, replacing Todd Wooten. Is there a motion to approve Herb Landy to be appointed to the Board of Fire and Police Commission?
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero,
Aye.
Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Motion carried. The next appointment is to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Mayor Odekirk is recommending Pat McShane be appointed to the Zoning Board of Appeals, replacing Charles McCauley. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Clement,
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next, the mayor is recommending the following individuals be reappointed to the Zoning Board of Appeals: Vincent Alessio, Edward Hennessy, Bob Noctree, Jim Riggs, and Colette Safford. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Clement,
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero,
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Motion carried. council committee reports, public service committee report.
Public Service met yesterday here in the council chambers at 4:30. In attendance was myself and Councilman Morris. It was pretty routine. I'll keep it brief since we have another presentation during this committee report by Director of Public Works. And we already had one from the Director of Public Utilities. So we had, unlike last time, we had a fairly rigorous agenda. We had a number of items on the contracts. We did look at all of the contracts and we did vet them, myself and Councilman Morris. And all the contracts, all 6 contracts were viewed as appropriate and unanimously approved for a recommendation to the full council. They were briefly touched on, each of them yesterday, by City Manager Caparelli during the pre-council meeting. I did want to put out one thing as far as doing what we said, the upcoming 2022 road construction. You'll see there's a lot of them are located in certain areas of the city versus people that might live in District 1 or District 3 don't see any of them in their districts, as well as much of District 5, because this particular reconstruction project that's been going on for years, it is to reconstruct roads that were built many, many, many years ago that didn't have storm sewers and gutters and things of that nature. Everybody, for the most part, 95%, 99% of the people west of Larkin, their subdivisions were built more recent in the last 30 or 40 or even 45, 50 years, and they have storm sewers, gutters, things like that. So that's why they're concentrated in certain areas in the older neighborhoods to bring those up to code. It's an ongoing yearly project. Again, we had several change order passment file payments. Again, myself and Councilman Morris went through each and every one, and we did see them all to be fine and did unanimously approve them for recommendation to this full council for today to be approved. And I don't think there's anything else I really want to bring up. Terry, is there anything that I missed that you thought might be important? It was pretty routine, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, with that said, that would be the end of the actual committee report. If we could have Greg step up, this is going to be about where we really need to be headed as far as managing within our budget for the city-wide, border-to-border, street repairs and repavings every year, a city of our size and what we should be doing. Greg, go ahead.
Thank you, Councilman Hug. So as Larry or Councilman Hug stated, this is going to be a brief discussion on the cost to resurface streets citywide. And I'm going to give you a little bit of brief background on just some mechanics of what we're talking about. A typical asphalt roadway consists of 3 portions. You've got a stone subbase, an asphalt binder course, and an asphalt surface course. And the asphalt surface course is the wearing surface. The typical life cycle of that is 20 years. So every 20 years, you want to be replacing that surface course. Now, there is somewhat of a variable in that. If you've got an area with a lot of heavy loads, truck traffic, it might be shorter. A residential area where you don't have those heavy loads might be a little bit longer, but the average recommended lifespan is 20 years. If you don't resurface the roadway, it will continue to deteriorate, and over time, you may eventually have to do a full reconstruction on the road as opposed to a maintenance overlay. So there are approximately 1,400 lane miles of roadway in the city, and when we say lane miles, that's an actual single lane. So if you've got 10 miles of a 2-lane roadway, that's 20 lane miles. If it's 10 miles of a 4-lane roadway, 40 miles. The estimated cost to resurface 1 lane mile of roadway is about $177,000. Based on the amount of lane miles we have in the city, the total cost to resurface all city streets in 1 year is about $252 million. If you break that down over the 20-year life cycle, you would want to expend about $12.6 million a year for resurfacing to keep up with that 20-year life cycle. Our current expenditure for resurfacings is about $2.5 to $3 million a year in motor fuel tax funds. We resurface about 14 to 20 miles of roadway a year. We would actually, if we kept on that life cycle, would be closer to, I believe it's about 71 lane miles of road a year. So there's obviously a large gap there, from that 12.6 million to meet that 20-year life cycle versus the 2.5 to 3 million we're spending now. And with that, I can take any questions anyone might have, but that's the basis of what Councilman Maholick asked that I discussed tonight.
Questions?
I would just comment, thank you, Greg. I would say this is something that we all seriously need to consider. We're at 2.5 to 3 million. Once we get through this lawsuit against the Loves is projected to bring in up to 2 or 1.4 million extra MFT dollars at full capacity, but we're still well short of where we really need to aim to be, which is $12.5 million, and that's on the low end. If we don't start doing that with this budget year, I mean, I'm not saying we're gonna hit the 12 million this budget year, but we have to show some marked increase in this expenditure. We're gonna continue to fall behind. If you don't do the number of roads you need to do, you fall behind. It's just common sense. It's an easy math problem to solve. So I would ask all my colleagues to really seriously consider this. Any questions that pop up after this presentation, call Greg. Sure. And he'll answer all the questions. This is something we did with the water several years ago. I think 5 when you first got in there, we did it with the water, and we're doing 2 to 3% a year of water and sewer improvements. We need to now address the shortfalls in the public works on getting these roads done, particularly in many of the residential neighborhoods.
Thank you, Greg.
Stadium Committee report.
So in Councilman Mudron's absence, I'll deliver the report for the Stadium Committee. The Stadium Committee met here in the council chambers last Thursday, July 29th at 4 p.m. In attendance was Councilman Mudron, myself. Councilwoman Quillman had a previous commitment and did let us know that she would not be able to attend. It's a relatively brief meeting. One item on the agenda, which was an update on the Slammers team season and a discussion regarding the future plans for the team. We had a report regarding the attendance, which was improved over the last year, but the stadium is still expecting that we'll have some troubles reaching full capacity. We'll take some time to get back up. They're estimating on a good end to reach about 70% of capacity of what their normal attendance would be. We've seen a marked decrease from group outings, from kind of company and business trips, which really have dropped off. A one-time payment of $37,500 was made to the city. I believe that's in regards to the lease agreement. And then the team is hoping that the new partnership that they have formed with the MLB Partner League affiliation will help them in kind of making some of that shortfall in revenue through increased advertisements. And other than that, that should be it to report.
Thank you.
Nice job.
I show no other reports. Under consent agenda, approval of the minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the pre-council meeting held on July 19th, 2021, and the minutes of the council meeting held on July 20th, 2021 stand approved as recorded. Council Memo 360-21, position vacancies. It's recommended the city manager be authorized to fill 2 police patrol officer positions and any subsequent vacancies which may occur. Council Memo 361-21, regular payroll for May 21st through June 3rd, 2021, $3,483,355.01. Council Memo 362-21, regular payroll for June 4th through June 17th, 2021, $3,479,871.71. It's recommended said regular payrolls be approved. Council Memo 363-21, 2022 roadway reconstruction program. It's recommended this program be approved. Council Memo 364-21, award of contract for the removal and replacement of the 50-ton carrier rooftop HVAC unit and the 50-ton carrier air-cooled chiller at the Joliet Area Historical Museum, 204 North Ottawa Street. Council Memo 365-21, award of contract for the emergency sanitary sewer replacement on Abe Street to construction by Camco in the amount of $37,621.65. Council Memo 366-21, award of contract for the assessment of the parking facilities in the downtown area to WGI Incorporated in the amount of $151,500. Council Memo 367-21, award of contract for repairs to the well 25D pump and motor to Lane Christensen Company in the amount of $33,513. Council Memo 368-21 was previously removed from the agenda. Council Memo 369-21, purchase water metering equipment from Core and Main in the amount of $152,080. Council Memo 370-21, professional services agreement for conducting a pre-treatment survey to Baxter and Woodman Incorporated in the amount of $50,020. Council Memo 371-21, professional services agreement for the commercial water service GIS mapping project, contract 1 to Rudiger, Tonelli and Associates in the amount of $61,400. Council Memo 372-21, amendment number 1 to the construction agreement with CSX Transportation for the Humboldt Road, Hollywood Road Railroad crossing widening in the amount of $78,223. Council Memo 373-21, amendment number 1 to the professional services agreement for the East Side Wastewater Treatment Plant phosphorus removal project, construction related services to V3 companies in the amount of $25,000. Council Memo 374-21, change order number 1 and final payment for the 2021 root control program to Duke's Root Control in the amount of negative $2,494.39. Council Memo 375-21, change order number 1 and final payout for the emergency cleaning of the 8 by 10 foot arched concrete utility tunnel to Sheridan Plumbing and Sewer in the amount of $81,726.40. Council Memo 376-21, change order number 2 for the 2019-2020 large meter replacement program to Calumet City Plumbing and Heating Company in the amount of $62,046.75. Council Memo 377-21, payment for the 2021 wastewater discharge NPDES permit fees in the amount of $152,500. And Council Memo 378-21, payment of the 2021 membership dues for the Lower DuPage Watershed Group in the amount of $26,795.96. It's recommended Council Memos 364-21 through 367-21 and 369-21 through 378-21 be approved. Is there a motion to approve all said consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Krista, on 360, that's 2 extra police officers. Chief Maholick, I know we've been hiring the last 7 or 8 months. What number would that bring the total up to as far as officers that have been hired in the last few months? 24? Very good, thank you.
Moving on, under ordinances, Council Memo 380-21, an ordinance amending the 2021 annual budget for the city of Joliet for the replacement of 2 rooftop HVAC units at the Joliet Area Historical Museum at 204 North Ottawa Street in the amount of $163,390.50. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
No.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Motion carried 5-1. Under resolutions, Council Memo 382-21, resolutions approving intergovernmental agreements with the Illinois Department of Transportation for state-maintained traffic signals and local maintained traffic signals on state highways located within the corporate limits of the city of Joliet. It's recommended said resolutions be adopted.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 383-21, a resolution requesting authorization to enter into a 2021 Justice Assistance Grant intergovernmental agreement between the City of Joliet and Will County. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So move.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 384-21 is a resolution authorizing the acceptance of a grant from the Will County Stormwater Planning Committee for the East Side Wastewater Treatment Plant Des Plaines River Slope Stabilization and Naturalization Project in the amount of $10,000. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 385-21 is a resolution authorizing a substantial amendment to the CDBG fiscal year 2019 annual action plan to the 2015-2019 consolidated plan. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
Mayor, quick question.
Yes.
To the city manager, were there any changes or edits on this?
You know, Councilman, we looked really hard at trying to be able to do that. Unfortunately, the deadline is not this Friday, but next Friday, and we won't be able to revisit this. And if we don't submit by that date, it'd have to be again approved by the council. So we aren't able to do that in this particular round. We believe that we can do a much better job in getting the information out on these types of grants than we have in the past. So I'm going to work with the staff here to be able to do that, to make sure that that as much of this information gets out to folks as possible. I know that Councilman Morris and yourself raised some great issues yesterday, so I'm going to have a remediation plan to make sure going forward that something like this doesn't happen again.
I appreciate that, Jim. And
Thank
just to
you.
be clear, the four organizations that are receiving this one, they certainly are deserving, but there oftentimes seems to be, and this is even prior to your tenure, the same small group of there's quite a few 501(c)(3)s, so maybe we need to get the word out as far as, I know they have to be registered with the city so they can be vetted.
Right.
You know, so maybe we should come up with a program or a plan for that.
Yes, I believe that there is something. I was at the at St. Francis just yesterday, and one of the things that the dean had mentioned was putting together a program to help nonprofits and how they do that. And so maybe they could also assist when they do these things, so we can partner with St. Francis and what they're doing and get the word out to some of our community partners here to be able to get cast the widest net as possible.
Now, that's a creative solution. I like that.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I have. Okay.
Is there a motion to approve Council Memo 385-21, which is a resolution authorizing a substantial amendment to the CDBG fiscal year 2019 annual action plan to the 2015-2019 consolidated plan?
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris.
You know, Mr. Mayor, I guess, Jim, I still have another question. So we did this 2 weeks ago.
It was a different grant.
It was different. So the YMCA was in that?
As far as I know, yes. And this is, again, I think Councilman Hug has made the point here that it always seems to be the same folks that continually get support from us. And I'm not, and as Councilman Hug pointed out, clearly we're not trying to say anyone's more deserving than another, but I believe that we need to open this up to a bunch of other folks and be able to have them.
Yeah, but no, that's not what I'm saying at all. I just wanted to be clear that what we did 2 weeks ago was different from this one.
Yes.
But those organizations that we did 2 weeks ago is still the same.
Correct.
Because it's some that was 2 weeks ago that's not in this one.
Right,
Okay.
That's correct. This was additional short funding.
It just happened to be one of them that's in.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
I vote aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is the city manager's report.
I have no comments at this time. Thank you.
New business not for final action or recommendation.
Joe?
Yeah, Mayor, Jim, you and I have spoken about, this. I get a lot of complaints about garbage, everywhere. And, maybe we need to have a cleanup day. The city could, bring out trucks and we can get, neighborhoods to participate. And I think they did one earlier in the year. And, I get a lot of complaints about garbage everywhere and we all see it. I got a few other things, not to pile it on, but the trees need to be trimmed. We spoke about it, we're working on it. There's weeds everywhere, the sidewalks, are split. I'm still looking to see, I heard rumor that we had a sidewalk cutter. I don't know if we have that or not. What else? The entryways, need cleaning up, and not to pile on, Larry, like we just spoke about earlier about, the roadways, we need to pave. I mean, we have some challenges. Missing street signs. I want to say thank you to Greg Ruddy for the pond on Infantry. You took care of it and you got on it right away, and Jim Tiber did as well, cleaning up the trees and bushes. But I think we have to get serious about next year really tackling some of these problems. And this would probably be a good time to start talking, well, nobody wants to talk about snow, but make sure all our trucks are in order, we're ready to go. I think the shoveling for the handicapped or elderly, make sure that's up and running. So those are just my comments. I think we have to get serious about some of these issues, so.
Councilman, I'd like to take an opportunity here to remind folks that we do have a 50/50 for their sidewalks in front of their house if they want to take advantage of that. Please contact us. You don't have to pay the whole 50% up front. It's paid over time, so it's not an extensive amount of money, but the city pays for half. We get you a new sidewalk. So if folks are interested in that, please contact us. I think it's a great program, and I think it's something that folks should take advantage of. Thank you.
Caesar?
No, I would just concur with what Councilman Clement said. I think it's never too early to start thinking about snow removal, considering it takes up about more than half of the year around here. And I think it ties in very closely with repairs to the roads. Obviously, the additional salt has a wearing effect on our roads, and it's much more difficult to clear the snow on roads that are in bad condition. So definitely would just second that it's a top priority for us.
Let's see, who can I pick on? Ms. Spanos. I know we're not directly involved. Do you have anything you can offer us, or maybe it would have to be an executive session? Where is the lawsuit involving the Love's truck stopping, moving forward? Do they keep you abreast of all the situation?
They do, and I would prefer
In an
to
executive?
do that in executive session at the next
Not
council
tonight,
meeting.
it's the next meeting.
Yes.
Don't worry, folks, not tonight. And then the other question, I had an older gentleman, and then there's my other older folks that have called me. We have some aging population in District 1, which is, a younger family district some 30 years ago. And it has to do with older people that are lucky enough to get their, tree limbs cut down maybe by relatives who come over for the weekend, or they come down in the wind, but they can't really cut them into 3-foot sections, and that's the requirement. I was wondering if we could reach out to one of the vendors. He wouldn't mind paying, but if they just come to one house, everybody was giving them a price of like $200, $250, even if it's only 4 limbs. If you did such a great job, I'm not trying to ask you to take over this one, but with the snow, with the older folks, if we had 100 people across the city, maybe a vendor would charge them each $30 to come by and do it on one given day. If we could look into that, when you have time, Jim, somebody on the staff you can commission to see if it's at all possible to do something like that.
I'll take a look at it. Maybe if they could at least drag the limbs out in front of their house and they could be cut into the sections properly on a particular day or something, if that's possible. But
Yeah,
again,
and I was
I'll
thinking,
take a
Jim,
look.
maybe
I'm just
a vendor could come through on a Saturday or a Sunday if they so choose, and you get people signed up like we do with the shoveling, and then they can put it right in their chipper.
Let me
and have a nominal fee.
Okay. Let me take a look. I think in the fall of the year, that's a lot. Things are
Not
a lot.
this year.
Right. Okay.
Moving forward, though.
All right. Thank you. Sure. Absolutely.
Thank you. That's all I have, Mayor.
Terry?
Yeah, not to pile on, but actually it was just a week ago, a young lady, well, elderly lady, but young lady, and I referred her to Neighborhood Services. and she thanked the mayor for the snow removal, but she asked if you would do the grass cutting for seniors. So, it's kind of in line with what Joe and Caesar and Larry was just saying. In the near future, she thought the snow removal is a great program for seniors, but her neighbor, has, and I believe, Neighborhood Services said that the city might be coming to cut the front, but they don't do the backyard, and she's getting a lot of critters, growing, because she said it's about 4 feet tall and, in height, the backyard. But again, I don't know how that could be, put together, but she just thought that would be something to look at, for the city to look at the grass cutting for seniors that's not able to cut or have family members that can come and cut. And today, I believe, Public Works spoke with a family about the 50/50 program, and they were told that it's a 2-year wait. And I guess, again, an elderly person that lives there, and she's tripped a couple times.
Yeah, we do have a waiting list. It varies sometimes. It can extend out. I can look into the specific one. Is that the Third Avenue one we had discussed?
Right, that we talked about yesterday, right?
Yeah, well, I'll follow up on that, but we do sometimes have a waiting list. We also find that waiting list kind of evaporates when we go to enter into contracts with people. Suddenly they're not interested if they see the price or whatever it might be. So we can look at that specific location, but we do have a waiting list. We did reduce the size of our program this year due to the current concerns about funding due to COVID. Next year, if what I'm hearing is correct, we'd be back to a full-size program next year.
Right, I just thought maybe it would be something we could look into. I don't know how, the dynamic of that to get that, list, moved along quicker. Is it hiring more contractors or,
Yeah, if we can get the money, we'll spend it.
Right, I'm not sure, but again, they did thanks for getting back, getting right to them, because we just talked about it yesterday, and someone called them today.
Yes.
So they was thankful for that, but the 2 years was kind of, setting them back a little bit.
Yeah, I'll follow up on that.
Yep, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Morris, I have a quick question for you, if you don't mind, Mayor.
Sure.
Did I hear you correctly? Did you suggest, because I'll make the motion, did you suggest that the mayor go out and cut lawn, maybe on the weekends? I'll make that motion right now. I'll back you 100%.
You just need a second.
You got it?
I'm not gonna second.
Jim?
As long as you have your attention, Greg, can you give me an update? Have the lines been drawn in front of the church on Broadway Street yet?
I believe they have, yeah.
All right, thank you. I'm sure they're very happy about that. I haven't been by there lately, so thank you for that.
And Cora.
What?
I think Cora.
Oh, and Cora too?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw those
that one as
too.
well.
Okay, I haven't been over there either. I was out of town. Anyway, Bicentennial Park. If you haven't been to a concert on the Hill on Thursday nights at 6:30, you gotta come, because last week we had so much fun. Bring a chair, it's free, it's right there. They have cocktails now, you can have beer or wine. And it was just the most fun we've had in a very, very long time. So if you can make it through September, please do so. Also, the Joliet Drama Guild will be doing a SpongeBob musical there. Go to their website for the times and dates. And also at Bicentennial Park on August 14th is Blues Fest. And that's be starting from 3 to 10, and that's also down there by the park. Beautiful venue, beautiful night with the moonshine and everything. And people are just dying to get out. But I have to say this, I mean, I'm a nurse. I get it. I'm wearing my mask. I'm vaccinated fully. However, I could be a carrier, and I don't want to infect someone who has not been vaccinated. So that is why I'm back to wearing my mask today. So if anybody else wants to wear their mask, I see a lot of folks wearing their masks, and I thank them for that. And not only protecting us, but we're protecting others as well. So that's all I have. Have a great weekend, and be well and stay safe, everyone.
Thank you. Sherry?
I'll leave you alone, Greg. I'll call you. You know me, don't worry.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to follow up on the points that were made, with the garbage, what usually would happen in Joliet would be like a spring cleaning, and it was kind of organic that different neighborhood groups would do it for themselves. I think the last 2 years, because of COVID, it hasn't been done. So maybe we should talk to our neighborhood services people, maybe try to organize a citywide one this fall. Again, I think groups normally do it on their own, but we haven't done that. So I think it'd be helpful. I don't want to overburden our staff, but that might be an idea. And partner up with the different neighborhood groups and get people out there to pick up trash around Joliet. So I think that might be a good idea moving forward. That's all I have.
Next is public comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak under public comments?
Good evening. They say I have a loud voice, so. Good evening, City of Joliet Council. I don't know how to pronounce your last name.
Odekirk.
Odekirk.
Yes, sir.
Odekirk. To the mayor, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to talk a little bit, and I'm not going to take up too much time, about the Joliet Country Club. I am a citizen that was born in 1972, December 30th. My dad bought the house on the top of the hill, 1129 Spencer Road. We were the first black family on that side of Spencer Road, crossover Briggs. He was scared to buy the house back then. He called my pastor, asked for advice. He said, go ahead, buy it. Don't be scared. He said, you gonna have more children? He said, I might. So he went on and brought it. We moved in Thanksgiving Day, 1971. I was the firstborn next year. So I broke the house in.
They really like the house, huh?
Yes. I've been a citizen here for over 40 years. I had a chance to caddy at the Joliet Country Club when I started when I was 9 years old. Mr. Reardon, Kevin, is he still around?
He still is.
He is.
He's doing great.
I need to see him. He actually gave me a job at the First National Bank as a coin roller. Not because, and I heard things, but my mother always taught me, and my father, you don't judge a person by the color of their skin, but by the character. And I waited on Mr. Reardon at a golf outing. He was on his phone in the car, and all the other caddies left. I picked him up, dropped him off at the door. After he teed off, Mr. John Wash called me in. He handed me Mr. Reardon's card. He said he wants you to come to the bank and see him. He's the CEO. He gave me a job, gave me opportunity. And that country club is a landmark. I heard that it was sold, it is no longer open, and some truckers are planning to come in. I've been in Chicago for the past 6 years because I did lose the house. But I'm planning on coming back here to Joliet to buy some property over there to build another house. I do not want to see that country club lost to truckers. Please, City of Joliet, don't allow that country club to go to the truckers. My dad did construction for years. T.J. Lambert, P.T. Farrell, all of them. He worked for them. I caddied for Paul Mudrin, Pat Mudrin, the judges, lawyers, doctors. Dominique Boedo was my father's attorney when he brought that house. I want to give the young people here in Joliet a chance that I had to caddy, to give them an opportunity to do what I did. That would keep them, that's what kept me off the street. I would go to that country club 5 or 6 days a week, especially on Sunday because they had the brunch after caddy. I got a chance to eat prime rib. But that country club is a landmark. Mayor, I'm asking if we can do something, the city of Joliet. We're known as the city of champions. Let us remain the city of champions because that country club means a lot. If you bring in truckers, them streets will be replaced within 5 years because of the weight of the truck. And I'm saying that from experience on construction.
Thank
I
you.
don't know how true it is that the truckers,
Well, it's not, but thank you. There's no plans in front of the city for trucking to go to the country club. It is privately owned, but that would require a zoning change, and that would have to go through the zoning board and the city council. There's nothing pending. Jim Caprelli, are you aware of any plans for trucks?
No, I know that there's been initially some talks, but I don't believe that fits in with what is probably the best use right now. So there's nothing pending. Nobody has, again, approached us on that. So we're
if it's possible that we can change that zoning to make it in the city and open it up for an East Side Public Golf Course, I'd be willing to take on the caddying job to give the kids a chance. Even with the snow shoveling and the grass cutting, I would take some teenagers.
Well, we could talk after the meeting. So,
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Seeing none, next is mayor and council comments.
Joe?
Nope.
Caesar?
Again, just to reiterate, some of the comments mentioned by Councilwoman Quiltman already. They were not quite out of the woods yet. Also wearing my mask. I've been fully vaccinated for a few months already. No lingering side effects. A little bit sleepy on the first day. But I hope that anybody who has not yet received the vaccine takes the first opportunity to do so. The way our kind of labor force is structured here in Joliet and surrounding communities, a lot of our people have to be in person to achieve the work that they do. They can't afford to be able to work from home, so it's imperative that we all do our part and become vaccinated so that we can eventually return back to normal.
Thank you. Larry?
I found out tonight, and very interesting, just a moment ago, that apparently the Reardon family had more money than the Hug family in 1981. I caught the mathematics from the gentleman. He was 9 years old, born in 72, and I guess that would be your father-in-law. Was in his car on the phone in 1980.
So I wouldn't know.
No, but he was in his car on the phone in 1981. That's back when it was $1 a minute. I think we got our first phone in 1985 on the wall now. So no, I'm joking. I'm just joking. I caught the math on that when he was talking. I'm like, wow.
Well, we got married in '89, so I was,
You missed that.
pre-me.
You missed that. I bet you he had the first VCR too, back in '78. But no, I don't have anything else other than to clarify for Jim. If we do get some kind of pickup for the elderly, for the older folks for the trees, I didn't mean don't do it this year. I'm not putting you under the gun this year. If it becomes easy, which nothing ever is, if it becomes easy, because we do have to sign them up. Anybody to be interested in doing it as a vendor would want to have more than 5 people on a given day. But if you can work some miracles, Jim, and you can get it done this fall, I didn't mean to stop that.
no, I understand. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Terry?
They didn't ask me to do this, but I thought it would be nice. It's a community fun day next Saturday on the 14th from 12 to 5. And when you leave there, you can go down to Bicentennial Park.
Blues Fest.
All right, so you have a full day. It's gonna be at Runador Park, which is on the corner of Water Street and McDonald. There's free food, fun. They're gonna have games for the kids. It's just to get the community out and have a good time. It's by the Joliet Coalition. They putting this together. The 14th, 12 to 5. Again, if you're not busy, come on out and have some fun and meet a lot of people from the community. That's all I got, man.
Thank you. Jim?
I made all my comments on new and old business, so I'm good.
Sure.
We were all, there were 3 of us were at the, what was it called? The Joliet Local Art Project at Juliet's last Thursday. It was great. There was a fantastic turnout. The City Center Partnership commissioned 5 artists from our area, and they created these beautiful sculptures. The theme was Joliet Industrial Heritage. Is the QR code still available, Quinn, to bid on those art pieces, or?
Yes.
It will be all the way through September.
How could they find that?
You gotta repeat it. It'll be available through September 25th.
23rd.
23rd.
And where can they find that? Is it
Currently on the Art Movement webpage.
the Art Movement webpage? Okay. Yeah, they're beautiful pieces. The other thing is you don't even have to wait a whole nother week.
this Saturday, the prison is doing, the bash at the big house. And they're going to have, let's see, it's from noon till 11 at night. There's going to be music, food, trucks, farmer's market, art, tours, kids corner. So the kids, there's something for the kids as well. So that will be, again, at the old prison and it's called the Big Bash at the Big House this Saturday. So that's all I got.
I got a couple things. July 23rd, the Old Timers had their Hall of Fame banquet at the museum. I was there with Councilman Joe Clement. Thank you to the Old Timers. And congratulations to the inductees, both for this year and for last year. They were unable to do this because of COVID last year. Councilwoman Reardon, you and Councilman Clement were at the Joliet Local Art Project unveiling ceremony. Again, congratulations to the Arts Commission, to the artists, to the people that were there. It was a full house at Joliet. It was Juliet, so it was good to see people coming together and bidding, hopefully raising money for the Arts Commission on those sculptures that are being displayed. And apparently they're gonna be out through September. I think they're maybe in the Rialto, so people can see them, or at some of the downtown fests. Hopefully out at the prison this weekend for the fest on Saturday. So, but it'd be good to raise money. It was really nice sculptures that were done. Last Friday on the 29th, the Heritage Corridor had a press conference at the museum, essentially announcing what their, the latest plan they have for Route 66. So I was there. Congratulations to Heritage Corridor and the people that were there. Saturday, July 31st, Judge Kennedy had the first State of the Courthouse picnic at the Moose Lodge, which is something different. Usually that's a lunch, but it was well attended by a lot of judges and lawyers from Will County. I was there also. And then finally, good news, it's a little premature, but on July 22nd, U.S. Steel had representatives from Pittsburgh and Joliet. They met with myself, with city staff. We met at the property. There were very good, active discussions about what could happen or what should happen with that property moving forward. So we got very positive vibes and feedback from the reps about what U.S. Steel's plans are moving forward. I do think there's at least one group that's looking to buy that property. So hopefully it's something that we'll be able to report in the next few months as good news. But certainly getting those reps here in Joliet was a big deal. I know they were here many, many years ago. Councilwoman Quillen, you were part of that. But there has been outreach since I've been mayor. I know Mayor Girani had reached out, and we weren't getting a lot of feedback, but we apparently are going to start getting feedback now. So it was a nice event. Good to have them here, and hopefully we have good news on that moving forward. And that's all I have tonight.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Motion seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.